Most couples don't divorce because they stop loving each other. They divorce because they slowly stop turning toward each other. In my therapy room, the moment that scares me most isn't yelling, it's the silence that arrives dressed as efficiency. When two people learn to run a household perfectly while starving the relationship, they become polite administrators of a shared life. You still split bills, tag team bedtime, and coordinate weekends like a small logistics company. But in the spaces that used to hold laughter, curiosity, and heat, there's only the soft hum of tasks being completed. Here's the uncomfortable truth: silence is not neutral. Silence is a decision. The less you say about what actually matters, desire, resentment, fear, the more your body says it for you. Eyes that don't land, hands that don't wander, shoulders that stay turned toward the sink. If you've caught yourself wondering, are we just roommates? I want to help you read the signals beneath the surface so you can either repair, clearly and bravely, or stop gaslighting yourselves with "we're just busy." Busy is often a cover story. Under it lives a set of avoidant habits that suffocate marriages without leaving fingerprints. The absence of conflict can be a stronger predictor of collapse than frequent, repaired conflict. Not fighting is not the same as being safe. Sometimes it's the sign you're already gone. Let's name the symptoms I see again and again. Conversations shrink to logistics: pick up the package, move the car, your mom's birthday is Sunday. You go to bed at different times, one doom scrolls on the couch, the other gets a head start on sleep. Mornings feel like a relay race: pass the baton, don't drop the toddler. Sex becomes a quarterly performance review, scheduled and tense. Compliments vanish. Small irritations accumulate in a private ledger: who planned the last trip, who asked for intimacy, who apologized first. There are micro-avoidances everywhere. You stop asking, "How's your heart?" because you're afraid you'll hear, "Tired of this." You edit yourself around money because money talks spill gasoline on old fires. You avoid touch when you're not in the mood, not understanding that non-sexual touch is the oxygen line that keeps desire alive. Jokes get a little sharper, eyes roll a little quicker, and the sarcasm carries just enough sting to feel like truth wrapped in style. Most couples tell me, "We've been busy." I nod, and then I ask, what would happen if busyness suddenly disappeared for a weekend? Would you two know what to do with each other? The silence that follows answers more than any story. What you call a season has quietly become a pattern. Patterns shape identity. Identity shapes destiny, unless you interrupt it. A couple I'll call Maya and Thomas sat on my couch, both kind, both exhausted. Their fight was about the electric bill. But as we slowed down, it wasn't about money, it was about control and fear. Maya had grown up in scarcity, spreadsheets soothed her nervous system. Thomas heard every budget talk as a verdict on his worth. Each time they tried to just be practical, his shoulders tightened, her jaw set. Eye contact disappeared. Touch disappeared. He bought things in secret to feel free, she tracked to feel safe. The bill wasn't the problem. The loop was the problem: fear, control, withdrawal, secrecy, more fear. When I labeled the loop out loud, they both exhaled. Naming the pattern let them fight the cycle instead of each other. Roommate mode is not an event, it's a drift. It begins when the relationship's nervous system decides that avoiding discomfort today is safer than repairing rupture for tomorrow. So you trade curiosity for predictability, intimacy for competency. You keep the trains running on time and stop looking out the window. In behavioral terms, avoidance is negatively reinforcing. The moment you skip a hard conversation, your anxiety drops. Your brain learns, relief. Do that again. Over time, the marriage becomes an elegant avoidance machine. You confirm your worst beliefs. When we talk about sex, it gets weird. When we talk about money, it blows up, so you talk about neither. Meanwhile, you outsource aliveness to work, kids, or screens. You're not malicious. You're self-protective. But protection without connection calcifies into distance. The system always wins. It doesn't care who's right, it repeats what's reinforced. If relief is reinforced, intimacy starves. Functional silence is communication that's technically adequate and emotionally barren. You exchange information flawlessly and exchange yourselves barely at all. The tone is flat, the sentence is short, the topic's safe. No one risks a vulnerable bid, "I'm lonely with you." No one asks for warmth without dressing it in jokes. Non-verbally, the body tells the truth. Eyes skim past each other like stones on water. When you sit on the couch, there's a neutral cushion between you, for the remote. One person's torso angles out of the conversation, feet pointed toward an exit. The laugh lands a second late. The hug, when it happens, is vertical and closed chest. Breathing is shallow. The shared lie here is, "We're just tired." It'll pass. Tiredness is real, so is emotional detraining. Muscles you don't use atrophy. Couples who stop random check-ins and spontaneous affection aren't resting, they're rehearsing distance. A repaired argument grows intimacy, a polite week of avoidance erodes it. When intimacy is low, fairness gets loud. Money and chores become the terrain where control and trust play out. You keep score to avoid feeling used, you itemize to avoid feeling small. Gifts feel like debts. Generosity feels risky. Even gratitude sounds contractual, thanks for doing the dishes. Finally, underneath is anxiety. For one partner, spreadsheets mean safety, for the other, they mean surveillance. Power replaces trust because power feels more predictable. You start hearing a lot of, your money / my money, your mess / my mess. This linguistic split is a red flag, it shifts the marriage from a we system to two I systems negotiating rent. Non-verbally, this sign shows up as withdrawal during budget talks, crossed arms, averted gaze, legs pointed toward the door. Touch dries up the moment a financial topic appears, as if affection must be earned by a perfect ledger. But intimacy does not grow in audit culture. It grows where transparency and kindness share the same sentence. Not all avoidance is dramatic. Some of it is subtle, postponing the goodnight kiss because you have to floss, sitting at opposite ends of the table by habit, keeping a phone in your hand during cuddles just in case. You avoid small intimacy so you won't have to face the possibility of larger intimacy being rejected. This is a self-fulfilling loop. You don't initiate because you fear a no. Your partner receives no signals, assumes you're not interested, and becomes less likely to say yes. The space between bodies widens by millimeters until it smiles. The air feels colder, conversations thinner, and sex begins to carry the weight of proof instead of play. Watch the micro-signals: torso turned outward in bed, a laugh that dodges a compliment, a shoulder shrug when a hand approaches, the breath holding before a kiss that never lands. Your nervous systems are negotiating safety without you. Most low libido marriages are actually low safety marriages. Desire follows safety like a shadow. If one of you carries anxious attachment, you'll pursue closeness harder when you feel it slipping, you text more, interrogate moods, push for talks at the worst times. If one of you carries avoidant attachment, you'll protect space when closeness feels threatening, change the subject, work late, get suddenly sleepy. Put anxious and avoidant together and you get the pursuer withdrawer dance. The more one chases, the more the other runs, the more one runs, the louder the chase. Add stress and your social threat system lights up, heart rate rises, breath shortens, tunnel vision sets in. Then you reach for the fastest regulators you know: phones, food, extra hours at the office. None of this makes you the bad one. It means your nervous systems are doing their job, protecting you, while accidentally starving the bond. The work is to make safety and connection the same path, not opposite ones. Reframe the goal. Your target is not no conflict. Your target is rupture and repair, recovering quickly and kindly when you do rupture. Couples who repair well become more intimate than couples who never rupture, because repair is where trust is proven. The weekly state of us ritual, 20 to 30 minutes. Pick a consistent, low distraction time. Phones away, bodies facing each other, feet grounded. Opening warmth. 1 minute. One thing I appreciated about you this week was raw truth without blame, 3 to 5 minutes each. This week I noticed myself withdrawing when we talked about money. Underneath I was scared of being controlled. Put feelings and needs in first person. Avoid mind reading. Specific, measurable requests, 5 minutes. Next week, can we protect 15 minutes before sleep with no phones, just holding each other and breathing together? Shared logistics, brief. Handle must-do planning only after connection has been made. Closing anchor, 1 minute, eye contact for 2 breaths, a deliberate touch, hand to cheek, hand to heart. Microscripts you can copy and use. When you feel yourself avoiding, part of me wants to stay quiet to feel safe. I'm choosing honesty instead. I'm afraid of being judged right now. When you're flooded, I need 10 minutes to settle my body. I will come back at 9:15 so we can continue. When money gets dense, I'm asking for reassurance, not control. Can we try 3-month experiment, a joint goals account we both see weekly, and personal fun money we don't police? When sex isn't on the table but connection is, I don't have energy for sex tonight, and I want closeness. Can we hold each other for 10 minutes and talk softly? The 90-second daily touch ritual. Stand facing each other. Right hand to your partner's upper arm or shoulder, left hand over your own heart. Make soft eye contact. Inhale together for 4, exhale for 6 breaths total. No words. Let your bodies remember you are allies. Rebuild shared meaning. Roommates share chores, partners share stories. Once a week, ask one curiosity question: what are you secretly excited about lately? What's one pressure I haven't fully understood? Where do you want us to be bolder this year? Boundaries that protect intimacy. Boundaries are not walls, they're agreements that make closeness safe. Time boundary, a latest in bedtime you both honor, so late night avoidance doesn't swallow connection. Digital boundary, no phones in bed for 2 weeks, then reassess honestly. Conflict boundary, no solving after 10 p.m. if either partner is flooded, schedule the talk within 24 hours. Repair sequence after a rupture, 3 steps. 1. Name impact, not intent. When I scrolled while you talked, the impact was you felt unimportant. 2. Own your slice, I chose the easier comfort. I'm sorry. 3. Offer a next time plan. Next time, I'll say, I want to hear this, can I use the bathroom and then sit with you phone free? Safety note. If your relationship includes physical violence, coercive control, or threats, prioritize a safety plan with professional help. Tools for everyday disconnection do not apply in abusive dynamics. Closeness isn't built by grand gestures, it's built by consistent, boring micro-choices that retrain your nervous systems to find each other again. Avoidance offers comfort now and distance later. Honesty offers discomfort now and closeness later. You don't get to skip discomfort, you only choose its timing and purpose. If you've lived like roommates, your first attempts at change will feel awkward. That's not proof it isn't working, it's proof you're using new muscles. When couples commit to 2 weeks of deliberate repairs and daily touch, I watch their eyes soften first. Then the shoulders drop. Then the voices. Desire shows up last, like a bird that lands only when the branch is still. Picture this: 2 figures in a dim room, backs once turned, now angled toward each other. The lighting hasn't brightened, the stance has. That's what repair looks like, shadow and shape, but also a line of light where your silhouettes meet. Choose that line, deliberately, again and again. If you recognized your own cover stories, the polite silence, the audit culture, the tiny avoidances, save this video and try the state of us ritual for 2 weeks. Track what shifts: eye contact, temperature of conversations, the ease of touch. Clarity is a gift, even when it's uncomfortable. Subscribe, like, and share so you don't miss the raw, useful truths that help you understand yourself, and rebuild the connection you actually want.